What's up, people? We're back for another episode of the greatest TV theme songs of all time. So check out the first episode I did a few months ago. It's got 7 different TV theme songs on it. And yes, my voice is still a little messed up from COVID. Hopefully this video brings you back to when you were growing up and you either watched these shows after school or were kind of forced to watch them by your parents before you went to bed. Kids today don't really know that there was usually just one TV in the house back then, and you only had like 7 channels. There was no Netflix. There was no satellite radio. There was no 8,000 other ways to occupy your time on a computer or a smartphone or anything like that. You actually also had to leave your house and play outside back then. Alright, so let's get to the nostalgia. I thought I'd start you off easy with an instrumental from the 60s. I wasn't too into this show because it was well before my time in 1965, but it's still one of the greatest TV shows ever. This show had everyone back then doing this, hoping that all their wishes came true. It works. It's a tale as old as time with an astronaut played by Larry Hagman where he lands near a deserted island and finds a bottle that unleashes a good-looking 2,000-year-old genie played by Barbara Eden, and they both eventually fall in love while he tries to keep her a secret from everyone else around them. Well, not really a tale as old as time, but they made it work. The song is Genie from I Dream of Genie that was on NBC from 1965 to 1970 for 139 episodes. Up next might just be the most fun theme song ever. I used to love watching this show every day when I got home from school when I was in my early teens. It was a game show for kids on PBS hosted by Greg Lee and Lynn Thigpen, who played the Chief. Kid contestants would play the game trying to figure out where the main character was in the world by getting geographical clues after she stole an important item. If they figured out where the master thief was, then they won a trip to where they captured her. The theme song was sung by a New York City a cappella group called Rockapella. The theme song is Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego that was on PBS from 1991 to 1995 for 295 episodes.
Well, she sneaks around the world from Kiev to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered filcher from Berlin down to Belize. She'll take you for a ride on a slow boat to China. Tell me, where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego?
Steal their soul in South Korea, making honey cooks right on the from the Red Sea to Greenland. They'll be singing the blues. Well, they never Arkansas her steal. The meat come from the jungle. Tell me,
where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego? She goes from Nashville to...
Next up is another show that was before my time, and the theme music is unique in that it was the first show where the actors actually sang the song. More specifically, Eddie Albert and Ava Gabor. It actually fits with the theme of the show, though, with the family that takes matters into their own hands. Ava Gabor was extremely nervous when it came time to sing because she wasn't a singer, but she got it right on the very first take. It was written by Vic Mizzy, and if you've seen my Halloween songs video here, then you might remember Vic Mizzy as the writer of the Addams Family theme music. The theme song is from Green Acres that was on CBS from 1965 to 1971 for 170 episodes.
Is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside.
New York is where I'd rather stay. I get allergic smelling hay. I just adore a penthouse view. Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue.
The next song is from a show with the cast that had a lot of tragedy go down in their careers and lives. Cast members Dana Plato and Todd Bridges had a major drug problem. Plato's problem was so bad that she wound up robbing a video store and forged drug prescriptions to satisfy her addiction. She wound up dying from a prescription drug overdose at the very young age of 34, which was 13 years after the show was over. Todd Bridges was arrested for felony assault, drug possession, and carrying a concealed firearm, and was also accused of shooting a drug dealer 8 times. He has since been clean and sober for almost the last 30 years. Main star of the show, Gary Coleman, died at the age of 42 from a brain hemorrhage and slipped into a coma after falling down a flight of stairs. Janet Jackson was also on the show, but luckily she didn't fall into the negative energy surrounding it. You can fill a whole book with the 3 main characters' run-ins with tragedy and the law. There's so much tragedy around this show that every time something bad happened, it was dubbed The Curse of Diff'rent Strokes. The theme song is It Takes Diff'rent Strokes from Diff'rent Strokes that was on NBC from 1978 to 1985 and on ABC from 1985 to 1986 for 189 episodes.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. A man is born, he's a man of means. Then along come 2. They got nothing but the genes, but they got different strokes it takes. Different strokes it takes. Different strokes to move the world. Everybody's got a special kind of story. Everybody finds a way to shine. It don't matter that you got not a lot. So what? They'll have theirs and you'll have yours and I'll have mine. And together we'll be fine. 'Cause it takes different strokes to move the world. Yes, it does. It takes different strokes to move the world.
Up next is a TV show fittingly about radio DJs that my father used to watch. My father used to watch a lot of these shows. Remember when I said parents used to force kids to watch these shows? Well, I was one of them. I didn't like a lot of it back then, but I've come to appreciating these shows. A longer version of this theme song was written in 1979 and actually released as a single and reached number 65 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1981. It definitely has an easy listening 70s feel to it. The call letters of the radio station in the show were chosen to spell out the word crap. The theme song is from WKRP in Cincinnati that was on CBS from 1978 to 1982 for 90 episodes.
Baby, if you've ever wondered whatever became of me, I'm living on the air in Cincinnati, WKRP. Got kind of tired of packing and unpacking, town to town, up and down the dial. Maybe you and me were never meant to be. Just maybe think of me once in a while. I'm at WKRP in Cincinnati.
The next show ran from the mid-70s to the mid-80s, but portrayed what it was to live as a teen in the 1950s. It spawned a few stars, one of which that went on to be a lauded movie director in Ron Howard, another that became a beloved actor and icon from the show in Henry Winkler, who played the Fonz, and an actor that went on to movie immortality by playing Mr. Miyagi in the Karate Kid franchise, and Pat Morita. The show started to drop in the ratings in its second season, but creator of the show, Gary Marshall, made a few changes, which included making Henry Winkler's character, the Fonz, a mainstay instead of the occasional background character like in the first two seasons. In seasons 1 and 2, they used the song Rock Around the Clock by Bill Haley and his Comets as the theme song, but in 1976, starting with season 3, is when they used this original song. The theme song is Happy Days from Happy Days that was on ABC from 1974 to 1984 for 255 episodes.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you. These days are all happy and free. These days are all, share them with me. Goodbye, gray sky, hello blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. You feel so right, you can't be wrong. Rockin' and rollin' all week long. These days are all happy and free. These days are all, share them with me. Gonna cruise her around.
The last TV show in this video was really popular, but it wasn't one that I was really into like everyone else. It's one of the rare TV shows that actually uses a popular song that was already in the mainstream music fans' recollection. Most of these are original songs made just for the shows, but this one was originally written and performed by the Beatles. However, for the show, they used a cover of the song that was performed by Joe Cocker. The song wasn't included in the show when it was added to Netflix in 2011, though, because of copyright issues in getting the song cleared. They had to try and clear over 300 songs that made their way into the show originally, but they didn't always succeed. The song was re-added to the intro of the show when it was released on DVD in 2014. The theme song is with a little help from my friends from the Wonder Years that was on ABC from 1988 to 1993 for 115 episodes.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song. I will try not to sing out of key. Yeah. Oh, baby, how can I? All I need is my brother. I say I'm gonna get high.
All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that trip down memory lane. The great thing about streaming is that we can all go back and watch these shows again. I've been trying to go back and watch a show called The Wizard with David Rappaport, but it's apparently nowhere to be found. It was only on for one season from 1986 to 1987, and it was about a dwarf inventor that worked for the U.S. government going around the world fighting evil. He was like a 4-foot-tall MacGyver. As much as times change, they really do stay the same. Back then, I remember my father watching all these shows, and today I have like 8,000 shows on my streaming queue. It's almost like having a full-time job keeping up with these shows. Anyway, that's another episode of the greatest TV theme songs of all time. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week with a new video.
Yeah, she flies around the globe, makes you flip them every nation. She's a double-dealing diva with a taste for thievery. Her itinerary's loaded up with moving violations. Tell me, where in the world is
Carmen San Diego.
What?